Adam Taxon here talking with Jennifer Stefano, who is the Pennsylvania Director for Americans for Prosperity. She is up in Wisconsin, where obviously they had a very good day yesterday. Jennifer, thanks for taking the time on your way to the airport to talk to me.
No problem, Adam. Anytime.
So I imagine the mood is pretty good. Give me some general thoughts about the resounding victory for Scott Walker yesterday.
Well, I have a saying that if you're on the side of liberty, and I find it hard to believe there are people who are not, but if you believe in liberty, yesterday was a good day for liberty, and it was a good day for all of America, and I think it's because the truth prevailed. People understood what was happening, they understood the truth, and it prevailed.
What were you doing exactly up there over the last few days?
Phone banking and door knocking. Community organizing, Adam, as our president used to do. I really just was going door to door to talk to people in Wisconsin, not about a politician, not about a political party. I was just going to talk about the reforms that were made in Wisconsin and how incredibly successful they were. They went from a nearly $4 billion deficit to over $150 million surplus because of these reforms. It's really remarkable.
And the unemployment rate's doing better than in Wisconsin than in most of the rest of the country, which is unusual. Usually it's worse there, right?
Correct. It's more than 2 points below the national average. It's about 6.2% here in Wisconsin. That's the lowest it's been since 2008. So I think you really are not just seeing a turnaround in these large abstract numbers that people, when you talk about budgets and deficits, people really, they can't apply that directly to their lives, but they sure know when they're working as opposed to sitting on an unemployment line. That's a real tangible result, and it definitely happened here in Wisconsin because of these reforms.
I noticed that Glenn Beck has been emphasizing this. AFSCME membership is down by 50% since it became possible for them to opt out, and similar for the teachers' unions?
Correct. I think that the unions have failed to do the job that they were supposed to do, and instead they knew that the government had workers over a barrel, and they thought they couldn't lose. And see, Adam, there's only two ways to live: voluntary or coerced.
Right.
And for a long time, workers were coerced to join these unions, and the unions weren't serving their members. And they got to do what Americans for Prosperity have to do. You have to serve your members. We have over 2 million members at Americans for Prosperity, and they can leave us at any time they want, and that is right. You have to work. You have to earn it. You just don't get it because the government deemed it. That's not American.
Yeah, and Jen, from talking to people in Philadelphia, and there are a lot of blue-collar union members here, it seems like there's a distinction that people are well aware of, including members of, say, the Iron Workers Union here in Philadelphia. There's a difference that they see in their own eyes between people who work for their hands and government employees and perpetually embittered teachers' unions. I mean, is that something you notice up there, too?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, the public sector unions take money out of and hurt the private sector tradesmen, the trade unions, because they take money from businesses, and the more and more you have to tax businesses, the fewer and fewer jobs they promote. That's number one. Number two, the tradesmen, some of these unions, they are actually they are functioning and operational, and they also do provide during these difficult times good job training and skills to help people readjust, which is what unions should be doing. That's the proper role of a union. And I'm not against unions, Adam. I'm against thugs. Yeah. I'm against people who steal. And I think the public sector unions have been doing that for too long.
So really, people saw a distinction between public sector unions and private unions, and non-skilled versus skilled unions, and also, I guess, between union leadership and union rank and file members. That's all fair to say as well?
Yeah, and I really try to talk to people on our side. You shouldn't talk about unions just as a blanket statement. There are union workers and there are union bosses. There are public sector unions and there are private ones. And I think you should go to my blog, JenniferStefano.com. Go to my latest blog post. It's JenniferStefano.com, and it's about my blog post is people you can be proud of. And I have video of 3 workers from Wisconsin. They're state workers, they're union workers, and they were carrying a sign that they stood with Walker, and I asked them, what was the issue that made you stand with Walker? And they talked about, they're ready. Look, most Americans are ready to shoulder some burden or pay some price to preserve liberty and to get us out of the economic calamity that we're in. And it's just terrible when these unions won't allow them to do what they as Americans want to do. And I thought it was so wonderful that they were so go to jenniferstefano.com and you can see it.
Jennifer, let me ask you, because you are the director of Americans for Prosperity here in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is a heavily union state, not to mention a state where there's a coal industry. What are the implications from yesterday's result in Wisconsin here in the Keystone State?
Well, I tweeted out that now all the Republican governors across the country can come out from hiding under their desk. Scott Walker showed them how to lead. He won, and they showed him what a leader is. And I particularly tweeted that to our governor, Governor Corbett. Come out wherever you are, guys. It's not that bad. It actually serves you to tell the truth and do what's right. It's a remarkable thing. I think our governor has done some good things. He's certainly cut, but he refuses to address the real issue, which is the unions. He's cutting public, particularly with the universities, he's cutting public education, but he's not talking about these union employees, these professors that are there for life, that are getting six-figure salaries and have zero accountability. He refuses to take them on. And until he does, we are never going to turn around this state.
Jennifer, thanks for taking the time while you're up in Wisconsin on your way to the airport. I've been talking to Jennifer Stefano, head of Americans for Prosperity here in Pennsylvania. Give us that website once more.
Yes, you can go to see the video, jenniferstefano.com. That's Stefano with an F. You can also go to americansforprosperity.org.
Jennifer, thanks for the time. I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.